moderation. You gotta have to have your limits. Limits are also a part of being intentional. You know, let's see, you're eating, you're sleeping. Those are all intentional things as well. You have to be intentional about your health, drinking water. You have to be intentional about the amount of sleep you get, because they've done research, and sleeping, not getting enough sleep is detrimental to your health as well. I've already said, yeah, your thinking, your happiness. You have to be intentional for your own happiness. This is the life that you were given. You were blessed with this life. You want to go on a vacation? Plan it. You got to be intentional on the plan. You can't, oh man, I'm working. Like, you plan, you got to, vacation is just not going to pop up, and you're not just going to magically be on a beach in Dominican Republic or in Paris somewhere. You're not going to do that. You have to take your finances. You got to look at what you can afford to put aside. You got to look for you may do a travel agent or go on Expedia or something like that. You can book your trip. You can book it as a package deal. You can, you can finance it. Basically, you pay a down payment, and then you pay every month a certain amount until like maybe a month or two before the vacation is supposed to start. Yeah, I mean, all of these are things that you have to put out the energy. You got to put stuff, you got to do it, Even exercise, Exercise is a big one. We all have our excuses, why we can't or why we don't exercise. Some people don't even, their minds are not even in that realm of thinking about exercising. Excuse me. That is an intentional thing as well. Like even once you know that you don't know things and you start understanding them, you can start going out and getting information. Go ahead. The thing is, we as people, a lot of times we'll think of an idea. We'll see something, say we see something on TV or wherever, and we think that it has to be the top level of what it is. Instead of like exercising, you start off by doing push-ups. You start off by walking around the block, and then you progress, at your time. You can progress. You don't have to start at the pinnacle of where you're trying to get to. But, I mean, you gotta keep growing. You gotta want to. You gotta understand what you got going on. Even when it comes to social media, I was intentional about this podcast. I was putting it off for a while because my computer has been giving me problems over the past few years. So I figured out how to get it where I could where I could record this podcast. I figured it out. I lucked up and found a daggone one of my external hard drive, and that's the way that I record, so I don't have to use my internal hard drive on my computer. But yeah, so social media, you got to understand, what that's about. We are living in a world that's not really what it's cracked up to be. Like we see the world, and we see people doing things, and then like we'll go and think that we have to. That's how we have to live our lives. That's the way. It's like, I want to live my life like that. I want to be this way, but a lot of those people that you're seeing are not living their lives that way. So it's a lie. You're being lied to, and you're chasing a lie. So you're living a lie, basically. You gotta be intentional on what you're letting become a part of you. You don't have to be on social media like that. You don't have to be on social media at all. or you can make a schedule of how much, when you get on social media and what you do on social media. Yeah, social media is definitely a detriment to our our mentality, the way we're thinking. We get up in the morning, and instead of going making breakfast, we'll go and we'll check our social media as soon as we get up, instead of having the wherewithal to understand, like, okay, I'm gonna get myself positive. I'm gonna start this day positively and real. It's gonna be a real day in real life. It's not gonna be electronics. It's not gonna be visualization in a screen that's, making me feel a way that I shouldn't be feeling. You see. Yeah, I mean, we have options, people. Your options, yeah. You got options. Yeah, so figure out a way to do your life. You got to do it, because life can happen to you, or you can make it happen for you, Not sure who I heard say that, but I like it. And I definitely agree with it. Like, even with my business, it's hard. I'm not sure exactly the best way to market it, but I'm marketing it and seeing which method is getting me the most customers. Customer acquisition. I want to spend as least amount on acquiring a customer and make the most money off of the customer. But I know you have to spend money. So you got to be intentional. I got to be intentional on how I'm spending my money. I got to be intentional in everything, because I'm a one-man show right now. Remember, options. You have options. You just got to find your options. There's more than one way to do something. Okay? Got to be aware of the options, your intentions, i.e. your self-awareness, knowing who you are and how you are. Like, what annoys you? What makes you feel what? Because it's not easy. Like, we don't even acknowledge it. We don't even know it's there. Our feelings, we just accept our feelings, and this is just the way I'm feeling, instead of like, why am I feeling this way? Oh, because of this. That's being aware. Gotta control your emotions. Something can make you mad. You don't have to. You can acknowledge it, recognize it, and figure out why it makes you mad, so you don't be out of control of your emotions. You don't have people running your life. You run your own life. You run your own emotions. Don't let it annoy you. Sometimes, it's like, sometimes people can be too serious, and sometimes people aren't serious enough. You got to find that balance, I believe. That's an option too. Like, some people look at people and say, "Damn, they're so serious," and then other people look at other people and say, "Damn, are they ever going to get serious?" But the thing is, the people who are on the other end of that not even recognize either they're too serious or not serious enough. Somebody has to tell them, and they don't recognize that option. You can be intentionally good. Remember this. You can be intentionally good, or you can be intentionally bad. Those are options as well. So understand that. Realize who you are. Are you a bad person? Are you a user? Do you use people? because sometimes you can be wrong. You're in the midst of an argument and you are dead wrong. And then you're going to be mad because the other person is mad at your offenses. You can grow up. You can mature. You can be intentional in your maturation. You can do that. Don't be scared to grow. Be brave. Apologize. You can be intentional in that. Apologize, to the person that you wronged. It's going to take some consistency. This intentional thing, intention-driven lifestyle. It's going to take some consistency. You're going to have to practice at it. Just like everything else. It's not going to be easy because it's all about self-awareness and recognition. It's deep because you're going to have to feel, as soon as you feel something, your mind has to recognize that I'm feeling something. Even when it's happiness, like, oh, this makes me happy. That's just as important as recognizes, oh, this makes me sad or angry or annoyed. You can get over your heartbreak. You can forgive that person for breaking your heart. You can forgive yourself for breaking their heart. You don't have to like sit in that world of I did something bad to somebody and I feel bad. Just learn from it. Get what you're supposed to get from it. Because just because you do something bad, that doesn't make you a bad person, Yeah, you can apologize for breaking someone's heart as well, Yeah, I'm working towards it becoming my second nature. Being intentional. Road rage, you see a lot of people in road rage today. And it's not that serious. Yeah. Recognize when you're feeling that road rage bubble up. Recognize that. Let it not even be an option for you to let somebody that you don't know ruin your moment. It's your life, They can ruin your moment, then it can go somewhere else. You can be the opposite side of their road rage. You can be road, not rage, road chill, I guess. I don't know. It's the opposite of rage. But you don't have to get into their world. Stay in your world. Set reminders for yourself to do something nice for people. Set reminders to call your kids. Because you're not perfect. You're going to forget. Set reminders for people's birthday. It's not a bad thing. Just because you don't remember everyone's birthday, it's not a bad thing. You don't remember all the special events. If somebody say something to you about what they like, go into their contact in your phone and in the notes, write down things that they like. Like if it's a new girl that you're getting to know, new guy. I go in my notes all the time. I got not in my notepad. I go in my notepad. I have a list of things for me and my son to do that I want me and my son to do together. I got a list. There's a bunch of them. I always add things to that. I haven't made a dent in it. I do, I've taken my son fishing maybe 3-4 times since he's been alive. I started like maybe 5 years ago. So 5 years ago, he was about 5 years old. So he's been fishing about 3-4 times since he was 5. That's something I like to do. I would like for him to become very good at it. I got to become very good at it. 'Cause I'm still a beginner, really, honestly. Yeah. Make lists. That's a part of being intentional. Talk to yourself. Tell yourself positive things. Be intentional with the crowd you hang around. Be intentional and being intentional. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, I mean, even in life, say you have goals and you're working, it's one main goal, but it's steps to get to that goal. That goal. You're going to get sidetracked. And you have to recognize that as well. Yeah. Sometimes you'll get sidetracked and then you'll look up and you're like, oh crap, I got sidetracked. You gotta realize that. But just because you get sidetracked, that doesn't mean you quit. You gotta know that you're gonna get sidetracked. Just don't get too off track. You can get back on track. Yeah, so trying to think, is there anything else I want to say to you guys? I just hope this will benefit people. Anyone, even if it's one person. I've heard this a bunch throughout my life. Even if I touch just one person, it'll be all worth it. Yeah, because this is doing stuff like this is like a legacy. I think of legacy, like helping humanity. I'm not being that arrogant, and thinking that that's what's happening here, but it's a possibility. But just doing this podcast was an intentional effort. I was like, man, it's these values that I want to get out there, that I believe that we all need to have some kind of understanding of and recognition. Like, we got to recognize what we're doing and what we're not doing in life. So intention. And this is not even my first podcast that I recorded, but it might be the first one I actually attempt to put out. Okay, I think it's probably the easiest one that I've done, and it was the most intentional one that I've done, because the rest of them were just general talking points and random thoughts. But I took my time. Other night I was laying in bed and I just came up with a list of things that I think you should be intentional about. So I plan on stopping this before it gets over 30 minutes, because I found out that you got to edit these afterwards. One of the last ones I did, I actually recorded video, and it was like 4 hours long. Audio 4 hours and video was 4 hours. I still haven't gotten they're gonna touch that. I went back and listened to a little bit of it, but yeah, I mean, that was a lesson learned. Me and my guy Chuck, we sat on my couch where I am right now, and we recorded it. So yeah, the next episode I'm gonna do is gonna be about excuse me. I don't know. Maybe he's gonna be about self-control. That might be my next episode, because I think that's a big thing, especially for the males. I really want to talk about that. Got to be intentional in your self-control as well. But I don't want to ramble. I just want to end off on a strong note, because I do have to make a run, have some runs to make. So I think I'll end it here. And this has been another episode of Because It's Necessary. Because it's necessary. Because it's necessary. Because it's necessary. I still got to get my uncle on one of these podcasts to tell the story of how I got this the title to this podcast, the name of the podcast from. But until next time, you guys, I'm out. Peace out.